Hey, good morning, everybody. Shane Rains, Dog Talk, West Virginia, right here for your day two top 60 blast off. We're going to send these folks out right now. There goes your top team. That is Robbie and Robert Fleshman. Day one leaders 11:25. Right there is your second place team going into day two, Chad Brenniger and Alan Fluharty. Here's your boat 3 and 4. All right, there's your sixth place team. Henry Chisholm, JC, Christopher, Craig Burwell, Kyle Weisenberger. And right here is your Dustin Dennis and Clarence Kimber. They weighed 8-8. Sorry, folks, just getting my notes together here. Next up, Eric Strait and Corey Oslet, 8-7 on day one. Next up, Marshall Nicholas and Bill Kennedy weighed 867. There just went Henry Morgan, Tommy Blakely, 849. Shane Lockhart, Tracy Lockhart. Right here in this gambler, weighed 843. Next up, weighing 813, Kobe Thompson, Casey Coffey.
So I found a better job for me, just being media.
And right here, past champions, Johnny Thompson and Jonathan Thompson. Next up, we got Willie Atkins and John Elkins, weight 765. Sixteenth place after day one, we got Derek Ballingy and Dylan Lewis, weight 709. Greg Wilson and Scott Wilson, 704, heading into day two, final day. Next up, Brian Suter, Jason Suter, 691. Terry Perry, Brad Chester, 6'9". Mike Smith, David Watkins, 689 after day one. Like I said, this is your day two, final day of the 2020 West Virginia Bass Festival right here out of St. Mary's. Dustin Tabler, Jeremy Jarvis, 652. Here we got Cecil Schneider and Dan Holdren, weighed 642, day one. Ed Dennis and Wes Kemper, your last year West Virginia Bass Festival champions, heading out for day two. Weighed 635, day one. We got Todd Nichols and Logan Nichols, 628. Now we've got Levi Lamp and Tom McCune, 624. T.L. Tompkins and Corey Gwynn in that Falcon heading out for day two. Weighed 623, day one. Ed Powell, Tony McCumbers, Weighed 616. Next up, we got the Burgas, Brad and Tom Burga. They weighed 613. Pat Gillian and Toby Workman, 605. Next up, heading out in an express. Right here, you'll see it coming across the screen. Gary Sapp, Chester Hoover, 599. We've got Brett Schultz. I'm sorry, Brett Gerald and Ron Schultz, 585. We've got Rick Harkness and John Harkness, 5'8", heading into day 2. Next up, Matt Summers and Travis Bennett, 578. We've got Matt Six and Rylan Kirkendall, 572. Next up, we've got Will Diffenbach and Ryan Radcliffe, 571. And another 571 bag on day 1, Bill Dowler and Joey Sims. Next up, Kyle Raines and Tanner Amos, 565 day 1. And behind them, Mike Bunner and Blaine Busey, 539. And coming up behind them is Andy Godwin and Mark Godwin, 522 day 1. Next up, Hunter Ayers and Charlie Ayers, 517. Where you see the marks coming up, Steve Marks and Brandon Marks, 514 day 1. Ed Mathis, Brian Sturgeon, 506, day 1. Paul Riggenbach and David Cutlip coming in behind them. Weighed 485, day 1. Next up, Mick Goodwin and Nick Goodwin Sr., 482, day 1. All right, here we got Greg Lewis and Steve Dement, 458. Behind them, Michael Cronin and Andrew Satterfield, 448. James Davis and Doug Tingler, weighed 447 day 1, heading out for day 2. Butch Falks and Cindy Falks heading out, weighed 433 day 1. Behind them, we've got Brad Billiter and Stephen Billiter, 431. Next out, we have Ronald Henthorn and Larry Henthorn, 427 on day 1. Got 9 or so boats left to go, folks. That will be your top 60 off and at 'em for day 2. David Howe and Matt Talkington, 4-2 day 1. Doug Wine and Chris Wine coming in behind them. 405 on day one. We have Steve Furby and John Rominger, 398. We've got Eddie Fry and Tony Wall, 396 to make the cut today too. Paul Bowie, Logan Bowie, 391. Jake Johnson and Scott Ivy, weighed 3.7 day one. Next up, we have Mr. Sean Douglas and Frank Douglas, 362 day one. Mr. Douglas wishing a happy anniversary there. Next up behind them, we've got Tim Schwall and Mike Hansen. And your last boat heading out today, final day, right here at the 2020 West Virginia Bass Festival is Bruce Godel and Michael Smith. We're going to watch these boats head on out here, just idle out around Middle Island, and you can see them blasting it off, folks. Very exciting day, too. A winner will be crowned. $15,000 payday on the line. All right, folks. Like I said, we are back here at St. Mary's Marina. Give you your live blast-off coverage right here for day 2 of the 2020 West Virginia Bass Festival right here out of St. Mary's Marina. As you can see, top 60 cut made the cut to day 2. $15,000 top prize payday. A lot of other money being paid out. Big Bass 500 for day 2. Overall, Big Bass will be crowned as well. A lot of things are going to change. Where do these anglers go? As you know, we had anglers launching out of Belpre Ramp, out of Powhatan Point yesterday, and right here in St. Mary's. So what will these anglers do, knowing now that all anglers are launching out of right here at St. Mary's Marina? That's about a 30-mile run down to the Belpre Ramp from this location. 45 upstream, 45 miles up to Powhatan Point Ramp. So these strategies have to come into play where these anglers are going to fish for their final day 2. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is just your quick live coverage of your blast off of your top 60 at the West Virginia River and Rails Bass Festival, 37th annual, right here for your 2020 West Virginia Bass Festival tournament. Join us live for day 2 weigh-in where we'll crown a 2020 champion right here at 4 o'clock p.m. Thank you all for joining me this morning. We'll see you on the water.